suffering from anxiety and depression because when they were little, when they were 2 years old, they were throwing a tantrum. We gave them an electronic to distract them and not let them process that negative emotion. And now we're seeing the consequences of that. That teenagers like, I don't know how to sit with that negative emotion. I don't know how to be uncomfortable. So it's another area that I also work with when I do coaching for parents.
Well, and then we wonder why mental health is so terrible when you have emotions that you've never learned how to deal with your whole life. You've just been found out. And a different dopamine drip, which is the other like addiction of like, it's faster to go on the phone than it is to go play outside and go accomplish
something. Sometimes I only had 15 minutes to spend with them, or I would do 15 minutes with each one of them, but that's all I had. So, but I made that time count and really be present. But sometimes, like I said, we're blaming the kids. It's like, okay, let's see what we can do, and so, and yes, teenagers, like you said, they're some of the issues are happening from a society point of view. And so they don't know that the curriculum is being dumbed down. Because they don't know better. But right now they're, like I said, they're huge in connecting because they don't know a lot of my teenagers, they don't know how to sit with uncomfortable feelings and emotions. And so they're suffering from anxiety and depression because when they were little, when they were 2 years old, they were throwing a tantrum. We gave them an electronic to distract them and not let them process that negative emotion. And now we're seeing the consequences of that. That teenagers like, I don't know how to sit with that negative emotion. I don't know how to be uncomfortable. So it's another area that I also work with when I do coaching for parents.
Well, and then we wonder why mental health is so terrible when you have emotions that you've never learned how to deal with your whole life. You've just been found out. And a different dopamine drip, which is the other like addiction of like, it's faster to go on the phone than it is to go play outside and go accomplish something. So I think it's really important to realize the teenager you've developed started earlier in childhood development. And so I'm really conscious of I think it's so important. Every parent should study child development and like just focus your mind to, that's what's going on right now. Okay, it's not about me. Like,
right.
This is part of development for a teenager or for a 5-year-old. You know, like my little guy's super busy right now. Well, I found out it's because there's a lot of testosterone at that age for some reason. And the biological thing for boys, they need to move. And yes. Like, problem solved. Okay. Got it. You know, and the girls, it's like, okay, we're up, down, we're all over the place. We're, you know, and just knowing from day to day, I just got to be that solid, safe space. Yeah. And that's just enough knowledge that I feel empowered. Exactly. And then I can be the safe space and not be there trying to figure my stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, why did that happen? And then taking it personally. And
so that you know which battles to fight. I always tell the parents, like, you have to know which battles to fight. And most of us, and I'm going to say most of us, most of the good moms, so that will probably be your audience. Like we read the baby book, we read the toddler book, maybe when they were younger, things like that. But we stopped when they're high school because like, they're good. It's like, no, like, have you watched Inside Out? Like the end of the first movie, Inside Out, I was like, what can go wrong? She's 13, and he's like, well, it's a whole other thing of emotions and everything. So that's why I created these programs, because there's a lot of information out there for when they're little, but there's not a lot of information of when they're right now. And actually, this program I created like 2 or 3 years ago. Like 4 years ago. And it was called something else. That's when I did the other episode with you. And then I revamped it because of the influences of technology, the dopamine that they're seeking all the time, the approval they're seeking in the wrong places instead of from you and things like that. So I had to revamp it to what are they living in right now? Like, what are they suffering for right now? And it's intricate, but it could be very simple though. The way that you connect with them is just have to know the information. Like you said, if you understand just a little bit about how their brain is working and how you can switch 2 or 3 words so they can actually talk to you, so you can actually motivate them, so you can actually build their self-esteem, it makes a world of difference.
And also paying attention to what they're interested in, which will change a lot as a teenager. I noticed. I used to know my girl's favorite colors, and then I'm like, I think I know what it is today. It might have changed, like that kind of thing. And one used to be in penguins for a while, and now she's in sharks, and used to be llamas for a little while. Like, when they're little, it's like pink, purple, girly, princess. We were good. Like, and then
you were safe.
I've got more tomboys. I got more masculine energy, I think, just from being with single mom. And I'm just like, they're empowered, and that's okay. But it's definitely not what I expected. And so I think that's just part of the teenage years, is we kind of know, okay, this could be different, but it's it can be whatever you make out of it, but you do need to empower and give yourself tools and strategies. So I'm so glad that you're giving them, because mental health levels, the things we talked about with the last episode, like we're trying to help you prevent it going to the extreme where now it's a safety issue. Now it's an emergency.
Right.
And you don't know where it came from. It's just there. And you're like, wait, how did this happen?
Yes.
It's all the things we're talking about. And so limiting screen time, but also being the example of that, having boundaries around it. Everybody's underestimating that to a huge level. I am doing elementary education actually for my master's, and I'm trying to look at the worldview of schools right now. And they're finding the ones, at least in elementary school, no electronics. It's more about to make connections. It's more about the communication, the things that the teenagers currently now are lacking. Those are thriving. So I think it was Sweden was like totally taking on all of the electronics, and they were excited. How is this going to implement into our education system? And very quickly pulled them all out in elementary school. I'm like, whoa, this is the numbers, the data, everything. It feels like we're just like, we haven't corrected it yet. So I think as a parent, you have to realize that and empower your kids to be kind of above whatever the standard is right now.
Yes.
Find the ways for them to find the strategies that work. So if my kids are at a charter school, at least 2 of them are, and I have loved this charter school because their curriculum was based on curriculum that works.
Yes.
That also creates good citizens. And it's part of their grade is being a good citizen. So they have Saxon math and Spalding method for English. And everyone knows if a kid comes from that school, they can read, they can write, they can do the math, no questions asked. In fact, they're probably far and above the peers in the regular system, which is hard to see because I'm also subbing. I'm subbing all grades. And it's really interesting to see the effect of different schools that aren't really being held to the same standard. They may have state standard, how they're getting there, where the money is going, what money is available for them to get. So much of it is going to come down to your child understanding that they can teach themselves.
Yes.
That there is a career that they want out there. This each time is the time to start like really thinking about those things without the pressure, but more of exploratory, like, okay, if I want to be an engineer, what path do I get to be an engineer? And then me as a parent going, okay, here's what we need to get in place. Well, education, like take charge of your child's education. Do not expect somebody else to teach your child anything, especially if they have a career, they have a goal in mind. It's that I think you have to take more personal responsibility for that as a parent now more than ever. You can't expect that some school and system is even going to level up to get into careers, because now they want people with the skills and they want people with the passion for it.
Right.
So you stand out. It's no more just a lot of those menial entry jobs, AI is taken over. So you've got to prove your worth.
Yes.
It comes from knowing who you are, what your talents are, and the gifts. So all of this identity stuff that we're talking about is how the next generation is going to make it. But
yes.
You can't expect some system, your church, your school, or even a counselor or therapy. You've got to take that on as a parent to set them up for success, but also honor that they have agency. Like, got to give them to show that they can make good decisions, not just for you, but for themselves, so that they can trust themselves as well.
And I respect parents. Like I have parents that are like both parents are working, and like I said, the economy is uncertain and things like that. So I know we're all busy working. I mean, I'm doing it right now, so sometimes we don't have, it's like, how do I do this? How do I do it? And like you touched base on what I wanted to say, tagging along with that. It's like, maybe you don't have all the answers or you don't have all the time to kind of do the things for your child, but it's like, let's do them together the first couple of times so that you pass on the responsibility to them. A lot of the times, so there's the spectrum of parenting, right? So a lot of parents, like, they want to do everything for their child when the child turns 17, and they're like, well, you need to be independent now. It's like, but you never taught them how to be independent since they were 12. Like, that starts when they're 12. That doesn't start when they're 17 and they're about to leave your house. So it's that, like you said, it goes back to the knowledge, to understand the developmental, where they're at and what they can take on, and then how to pass that on to them. Like I said, I was always working with my kids, and so I didn't have that much time to spend with them. So every time that I spent with them, it was very intentional. And I was able to pass on those kind of responsibilities out to them. It's like, okay, what careers do you want to do? Like, let's do a research. In the summer, for example, I would sit them down like, okay, this week, let's research, this field or engineering, or let's do medical field. So so that was the summer projects that we had. Like, it's like, okay, let's research this and then come back to me at the end of the week. And that's what we discussed, kind of thing. So it's like they still did the work. And then I sat down with us like, okay, what are we doing with our lives? And what is it that we're finding interesting and things like that? And my kids have been very certain of who they are, who they want to be, and what career of choice they have, and things like one is about to apply for medical school. The other was like doing forensics, which we went through a whole thing with that because it was like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? But that's what she loves, and that's what interests her. And it's like, okay, I completely respect that. I support it. I don't want to see the picture of the cases that you're solving, but but it's like giving her that space. It's like now she feels empowered. She's like, oh, I can be myself. And mom is okay with it, and dad is okay with it, and now she's okay with it because we were supportive in that, in that process. So
yeah,
it's very to open up that space, that safe space for them to explore.
So we've talked about communication, identity, being a good example, tech. Any other things that we can do to support our teenagers that we may not have mentioned yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's being there, is knowing yourself. First of all, I always recommend to the parents, like, please do your own work, do your inner work, do your inner child work, go to therapy yourself so you can and we touched base on it slightly earlier, but it's like that is so important because you get to understand where your own patterns are coming from, where your own expectations are coming from. I had a family about a year ago. They had only one child, one girl. I want to say she was a sophomore or junior. And the demands that this girl had, it was like she just cried with me because it's like they want me to be perfect in everything. And so once I started coaching the parents, like, where is this coming from? It's like, oh, okay, so that's how you were parented. This is, you're expecting each other to be perfect. So it's just finding out who we are, first of all, as adults, because some of us are still growing, all of us are still growing, and we make mistakes and we don't know. Like I still have triggers, as a mental health professional. Sometimes I say something like, where did that come from? So, and I study this, and I've studied education, and I've studied, so I feel like I have the tools. So for parents, just be humble to know, what, I have no idea what I'm doing, I need help. That is huge, because you're teaching your child the same thing. Like, how do I ask for help when I don't know what I'm doing?
And I love when my kids surprise me and come up with a solution I wouldn't have come up with. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. That will work great. Yes. Great to go. And then that took something off my plate, or delegated in a way that I'm like, I hadn't even thought of that. And then they surprise me. And also when they do things that you're like, they were listening. I did think they were listening. But
a lot of the times it's going to feel like they don't. It's going to feel like that. It's a phrase that's, and I'm going to confess something here that hopefully my kids don't get to the length of this episode. But when I didn't know what to do, this is a phrase that I use. It's like, either you fix this or I'll fix it, because I didn't know what to do. So it's like, you fix it or I'll fix it. If you fix it, you're going to end up with a solution that you like. If I fix it, you're not going to like it.
Oh, so true. So true.
And then they come up with their solutions like, that's better than what I would.
Yeah.
And they feel so empowered to solve their own problems now. And like I said, for me, it's like, I love my children. Like I said, my oldest is in college and she's away. And I'm so glad that she barely calls me during the week. That means that she doesn't need me. She misses me, and we spend the time. But it's like she's doing her own thing, and she feels free, and she feels, and we have a great relationship. It doesn't mean that we don't. But it's like, I'm so happy that she is able to do her own thing. And one day she came up to me, she's like, Mom, maybe next semester I'm going to go to Japan and to do a study abroad thing over there, medicine or whatever. It's like, okay, great. She was like, Mom, I was joking. And I was like, if that's what I'm like, if that's what you want to do, I'm like, I gave you I gave you the wings for you to fly. And that was the whole purpose. Like, I want my kids to fly as much as possible. How many women do we know? And you're coaching and you're in health and things like that. How many women do we know that we don't feel good enough? That we don't feel like we can make it? That we have the fear of a rejection. We have the fear of failure. How empowering is it that for that I was able to break that? Because now baby, you can succeed. I mean, you have all the power, you have all the wings, you have everything that you need to succeed. And that right there, it's made all the headaches and all the studying and all the trials and all the things that made it so much worth it.
Absolutely.
Get your resilient fix in 2026 with Coach Tiffany, now a nationally recognized certified personal trainer and also your high performance coach, host of the Resilient Mother podcast. You can now train with her in person or online. Just text train to 435-294-5456. You can also find her at the Sports Academy in Logan, Utah, or you can email her at resilientmomrising@gmail.com. We'll see you soon. Resilient you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And something I'm seeing that might be interesting to get your perspective on here was setting girls up for success in a world today that over-sexualizes women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding that the girls that I get that are in like college age or they're not quite married yet or whatnot want their 16-year-old bodies back.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to think that's humanly possible with my help. And I
Mm-hmm.
have and it's just kind of this reality check that a woman's body is going to change a lot over the years, and it doesn't decrease your value with those changes, especially if you have children.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It is not the same. It's just not going to be.
Ever.
But there are ways to take care of your body, but it changes as we age. And this is something I'm becoming very aware of because there are women who did what we were told to do, which was to restrict and overtrain. And now they're getting into their 40s and 50s and they have no muscle.
Right.
They're gaining weight. They're like, what is going on? Well, what were you doing in your 20s and your 30s?
Right.
And no, we can't go back to 16-year-old body, nor should you want to.
Yeah.
But we do need.
You shouldn't be eating the same way. You know, we have to kind of evolve with our bodies. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's the piece that I see is just accepting the chapter that you're in is so important, and letting the teenager know that, you know, you had the teenage phase. Now you'll have the adult phase. You'll have the young sleepless nights and the newborn age.
Yes.
And you'll have your own teenager someday.
Yes.
So,
Yes. But going back to like with your clients, is like, I want to have my 16-year-old body right now. Like for me, and I'm pretty sure you do this too, it's like, what does that mean to you? Like, why are you fixated on the 6? Is it because of the external? Yeah. What does it mean for you internally? How does that look like? Like I do Pilates right now and I love Pilates, and I have for a 48-year-old woman, like I keep myself, like I walk every day with my dog because I have a pit bull, so I have to walk him, and then I do my Pilates and I keep my body strong. And, you know, could I lose 5-10 pounds? Maybe. Do I want to? It's like, no, I'm comfortable because I'm very comfortable on my skin I know I'm strong. I know I have muscle, and I measure my muscle mass every 3 months. And like, I know that I'm doing the things and I'm eating healthier and cleaner and things like that. So I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing at 48. There's no, at 20, who care what I ate? Like if I ate, you know, if I didn't eat all day, or then I ate like 3 burgers, you know, for dinner, like I could have done, I could do that when I was 20, but not now. And because we know better, we should do better. And like going back is like, is it an extrinsic reward of like having my 16-year-old body again, or is it intrinsic? Like, what does that mean to you internally? And and like I said, from a therapist perspective, is like, what does that mean to you? Whose validation do you need? Whose approval do you need that you want that back?
Well, and often what I'm finding is if they're single, especially, they think they need to be a certain way to be attractive. And I find that, yes, it's important to be healthy, right? And feel good in your skin, which I love that you just said, instead of attracting over sexualized,
right.
Men is what ends up happening instead of who do you want to attract, who loves you.
Right.
Who you are, no matter what shape your body is in, you want that guy, and that's who you want to attract. But you first have to have that relationship with yourself. And I think there's so much pressure on girls, and we've got the new weight loss stuff out there that's dangerous. We don't know what
we don't even know
are going to be on that, especially in the reproductive system. We don't know what that's going to do. Right. And so I have those I have people who don't want to do that. They want to take the healthy route. And I think the teenagers are a good time. I was never taught about menopause or perimenopause, or like, I was never given the idea that your body is going to go through all these changes, or
Mm-hmm.
not prepared for it at all. So I think it's one thing that society has kind of missed to empower
Mm-hmm.
girls, is to be like,
Mm-hmm.
your intrinsic value. Yes, take
Yeah.
care of your body, be healthy, and maybe you can be at the gym a little more than somebody else. But even that the longevity, the societies that live forever and have the women who are the matriarchs, it's the everyday movement that they do. It's not necessarily that you have a personal trainer. It's what they're eating. It's the lifestyle that they have. And the thing that we forget, it's the community they build around them to support them. It's
Right.
the people they choose to have in their circle that empower them and that lift them up. And that doesn't just change once we have peer pressure in high school. That goes on with you. And I think that is the disconnect for the kids. If they're not seeing now, then how are they going to do that in a world that's still very digital? They're going to have to very intentionally do it. So I love the work that you do, because I think it's going to be vital to make a new catalyst to kind of shift out of the mental health crisis that we're in, but also build the future that we need, healthy, that is thriving, that is about the individual being their best self, their unique gifts that they have to give the world, and go out there and do it. I know they got home base with mom and dad.
Yes.
They got the family base. Some people don't have that. And it's really hard in today's world, because then you meet somebody and you're really, really dependent on that partner, which puts so much pressure on them that I'm sure that affects some relationships too. Or if there's an only child, there's some of those interesting relationship dynamics.
Dynamics, yeah.
Yes.
For sure, yes. And we're going back to like you mentioned, is like, it's finding that identity. It's like you said, it's like your clients want this type of body. It's like, well, what are you going to attract with that? And I've been divorced for that's another new thing, I guess. I've been single for the last 2 years. So it's like, how do I find the value in me? Because in the beginning I was so insecure, and then I was like, this is not the kind of, attention that I want or anything like that. So I worked in me for me. And it's like, how can I pass on this to my girls? So I'm always thinking about that, because we do have girls, you have two girls too, and I have two girls. So it's like, what kind of example am I putting for them? But for me to put the best example, I have to be willing to change myself. The small choices that I make every day, the small meals that I meal prep every Sunday. And yes, it takes time. And yes, it's like, I have to make the time. And not for me, it's a habit. So I don't even have to think about it. And now my girls know, it's like, okay, we'll go to mom's house. We're going to, like, if they want a good, warm, kind of healthy food, plate, they come to mom's house, and they know that that's what they're going to find, because they know that's how I operate now. And the value that I see in the dates that I've gone and things like that is like, if this is the body that I have, and then I have a big personality too, so that comes with that. But like, if you really ask kind, good men about what is it they're looking for in a woman, it's not necessarily all about the body. It's like, and for me too, like I want to find somebody that is healthy, that takes care of themselves, because that speaks about how much they love themselves. So it's about loving you, and the best version of you is the healthiest version of you. And that's, for me, that's the highest form of self-love. It's taking care of your body. It's exercising. It's building that muscle, because that's going to last you for the longest, And so I want to die as young as possible, as old as, like, I don't know what the saying is.
As old as possible. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. So I'll look young, very old.
I got you. People ask me if I want to be a younger version of myself. You always get somebody who asks you that somewhere along the line. And I figured out the answer. The answer is, I want the body of maybe my 20-year-old self, the energy of a 3-year-old, and the wisdom of a 100-year-old. Right. If I can have that combo, then let's talk.
Yes. And I'm like, you cannot pay me enough to be a teenager or a 20-year-old right now. No, I'm loving my life right now, because Tiffany, I have built it to be the life that I want it to be. I'm healthy. I take one medication. That's it. And so I'm about to be 49. But because I have built those habits in my life that makes me want to have a career that I love. And so all those components that I had to work hard for, and I had to work hard on the habits, and I had to work, things like that. So my girls have watched me go through those transitions. And like I said, now a single mom, and, being single and things. So they watch, and that's the example that I can give them. And I feel very confident on, and I tell them, like, I make mistakes too. And, I've had bad dates and stuff like that. But it's like, I build that communication, first of all. And like I said, they've watched me build the life that I want to live at this point.
And that's a resilient mother right there.
Yeah. Was it easy? Oh, no, there's none of it is easy. Like, having a teenager that is, that you have a bad relationship with is hard. And being a good mom is hard. Being a good single mom is hard, things. So it's like, pick your hard. Everything is hard.
Yeah. Being unhealthy is hard. Working out is hard.
Right.
You're hard.
Pick your healthy. And for us, a therapist, like, I'm not judging, just like, pick your lane, like, it's like, and go with it and just own it. But then, you don't want the 16-year-old body with not having healthy habits.
Yeah. And that's what they're finding with some people who are losing the weight really fast, is they still have the habits. So
yes.
They one thing, but they didn't fix the whole person, and they're ending up with more therapy. So we think that there's no quick pill. There is no quick fix. There's no easy path. It takes work, but that work is worth it. That builds the muscle. That gives you the resilience and the strength and the knowledge and the wisdom. And those are the things that we get to take with us, that to take away from us. That's why your daughter can be away and you're like, I know she's got the skills that she needs.
Because we've been building it since she was 12. Right. So it's like, it's been little by little. I'm not saying if your child is 15 right now, there's nothing you can do. Of course, there's something you can do, because you can always start now. I get this a lot where, like, they bring me their teenager, they're 17. And like right now, it's a huge push for therapy for seniors. It's like, okay, let me see what I can do. But
in the year that you gave me to teach 10 years worth of lessons.
Yes, you did 6 years of damage, and now you want me to fix it in 3 months. No, let's talk about you. Why don't you come to therapy? No, but I would say that to myself too. Like I said, it's just we're if we improve ourselves, we're going to improve our kids' life. Just that's, so there's no quick fix on anything. Health, professional, relationships. Like, we have to go through the things. You have to go through the uncomfort. You have to go through, and teach your kids that, model that for your kids. Not just, and my kid plays sports, and that group of moms, it was a lot of, like, coping with alcohol. And it's like, if that's what you need to do, that's fine. But just know that that's the example that you're setting for your kids, that's how they're going to cope with life. And there's no better way. There's no communication. There's no processing. You're not teaching them therapy. You're not teaching them all those things. They're like, why are you not doing this? Well, mom, dad, are you doing it for yourself first?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't be a hypocrite and do as I say, but not as I do. That does not.
Which is a popular saying.
You cannot do that. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way.
Maybe you're being a good parent and you're trying this strategy and you're trying this strategy and you're trying this, like, success leaves clues. Go find proven strategies. That's why I love my performance coaching, because they're science backed, that they work and anybody can apply them, but you apply them in your own unique way. Yeah. So let's say you're in this phase where you're like, okay, something's got to change. Okay, here we go. It's okay if it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Okay, that didn't work. I need to tweak that a little bit and here and there. Then that's where really knowing your kids and knowing yourself can take time. It can be a journey, a resilient journey. And that's fine, because in the end, you know what's best for you and your family. You know what works for you. That's part of being resilient, is knowing how you're going to bounce back and what will help kids bounce back quickly and be able to move forward. And
every family is different. Like you say, you're single with 3 kids and you have a very young boy. And I'm single with 2 teenage girls that they're about to, one's in college, one's about to go to college. So it's and the values that I have for my family, if they're different, and now their dad, like, I respect is that, things like that with his values too. That's something that's another workshop that I do about when you're divorced, like, how do you deal with co-parenting so that it benefits the kid.
Sounds like another
putting the kid in the middle. Yes, we'll do that one. We'll do that one. Yes, but so it encompasses everything. But I know to my core, every mom, every dad loves their child, and we do the best that we can with what we know, what we have, with what we know, and what we have. If we don't know, we're not going to do better. So it's that preparation.
Yeah. If you're pointing a finger, realize you got 3 pointing back.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So, and we have to remember that we're the adults. Yes, the teenagers have the attitudes and things like that.
That's why we're the adults, right? That's why, like, enjoy being a teenager, enjoy being the kid. Because once you're an adult, you are an adult.
Yes. Yeah, and if you're an adult, you should not be acting like a teenager. Like, do not get screaming matches with your teenager. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
One teenager was telling me the other day, about a month ago, like, I was talking to my dad on the phone and he hung up on me. Really, Dad? Really? What do you expect your teenager to do? You know, it's like they were arguing and the dad couldn't handle it anymore and he just hung up. I was like, well, that's a great example. So, yeah. And like I said, and sometimes we feel frustrated, but it's okay. It's like, you know what? I don't know what else to say right now. I'm having all my emotions also come up. And so I'm going to take some time. But again, you're modeling that for your child.
Yeah. You got to communicate. That's key. Like communication is so huge today. It's so easy not to, and to text or to, I miss the days where no phones. If someone wanted to be part of your life, they had to show up at your door.
Yes.
The phone was attached to the wall at home. So you had to be at home if you were calling or if you were getting a call. So there was no being too, like the version of being too busy now versus then is so different.
So different.
So it's that intention. It's that effort. You've got to put the effort and the intention in.
And if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't take that much time. Like I said, it takes time. If you know what you're doing, if you understand what they're going through, if you're consistent with your rules of the house, with your expectations, with giving them freedom and putting boundaries and things like that. If you're intentional and consistent, it shouldn't be that hard. That's what I named the newsletter that I sent last week. It's like parenting teenagers should not be that hard. It's just we don't have that enough information. So.
Absolutely. Well, we've hit an hour again,
yes.
All day. So we will come back and do a co-parenting one because I know that's a huge one and it's really interesting to navigate to that today. And there's tech that can be involved and we need to record things in case and that's definitely a whole hour in and of itself.
Yes,
but yes. You got your new name, but do you have new places to be found or where if someone wants to work with you, where can they go?
So my website is xochitlrodriguez.com, so my first and last name.com, or theparentinglab.com. So you can find me there. I'm on Instagram. I am on Instagram as Xochitl Rodriguez LPC, just like my name on the show. And so Instagram, Facebook, I am there. And so you can find me also. So when I do classes and things, masterminds and stuff like that, I put them up on YouTube also. So you can find some of that information in there.
Nice. Yeah. YouTube's really big now. Like you want to find some good stuff. That's a good place to go.
Yes. And I'm about to launch some new. I'm always working on projects and things like that because I have a heart for this population and I know it's needed and I know parents are craving it. And so I'm trying to find ways to make it more accessible for everybody, but it's a profession. So it's still, but it's an investment too for the relationship that you have with your teenager. So.
Well, and I can feel your heart in your mission. I can feel it. And I love that. That's who I attract here. That's who I want on the Resilient Mother podcast so we can support moms and give them real tips and strategies and ways to be the best mom that they want to be. And also just help the next generation do better, that we hold the world in our hands in a lot of ways. So,
yes. And like I said, I work at 2 high schools right now and I see it on their kids. They feel lost. They feel disconnected. There's like they feel like an invisible wall. So it's like, we are the ones that we can feel empowered to kind of break that wall and kind of go in there full force so that we can create that safe space that we've been talking about. So very important.
We can fix it. We can do something about it.
We can do something about it. Yes. Not just blame it on social media.
Yes. It's like, okay, want to change the world, start at home.
Yes.
If you want to change the world, start at home. Mother Teresa, that has stuck with me from the minute I found that because you are sending the next doctor out into the world. You are sending the next cure to cancer. You are sending the next superstar out into the world. Your child has the potential to change everyone's life if you set them up for success. You never know. So,
right. Yes.
Value, Mom. And if you're trying, if you're intentional, and if you're doing your best, know that you care and you're doing great. And if you want to do better, just apply some of these things. Try it. Figure out what works.
Yeah. And like I said, most of my audience, most of my clients are professional moms that we have jobs and we don't have that much time. And kids have cheer and kids have football and kids have this and baseball and things like that. And we're running around. So that's the mom that I'm talking to because we need like practical, like 10 minutes a day. Like this is like something I can do with my teen. So it can change the whole course of their life and your relationship with them.
Yeah, I love that. This is doable, folks. Yes. It's doable.
Very doable. It shouldn't be this hard. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. You got this. You are resilient and you will be able to let your heart take flight in yourself and in your kids and in your family and out into the world.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Thank you for being here, and we'll see
Thank
you
you, Tiffany. Yes.
the next
Thank you.
episode of the Resilient Mother Podcast.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure. We want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care. Do you just feel stuck? It's the new year. You expected some change, but the motivation, the momentum, it's just not there and you can't figure out why? Well, you might want a life coach. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a certified high performance coach and have been for about 3 years now. And I can get people results in small mini coaching sessions. Give me 30 minutes of your time. Let me show you how you can get a breakthrough and transformation by having someone help you see what you can't see and hear what you might not be hearing in your own words and in your own story. You're the author of your story. Let me help you take back your pen and start writing the story you actually want to create, to thrive in your life and feel alive. Text coach to 435-294-5456 or shoot me an email over at resilientmomrising@gmail.com. We've got the solution for you.